Under the warm afternoon light filtering through the workshop window, my table was set for a project I had been imagining for weeks, creating 2 handcrafted cat figurines, each representing opposite yet complementary forces: the angel cat and the devil cat. The goal was not only to bring them to life in exquisite detail, but also to make their surfaces gleam as though they were sculpted from a dream, polished to perfection. I began with the foundations. For both figurines, I used a high-quality polymer clay that was easy to mold yet firm enough to hold delicate shapes. My hands moved slowly at first, kneading and softening the material, then forming the basic feline silhouettes. The angel cat would have a slender, graceful body, head tilted slightly upward as if gazing into the heavens. In contrast, the devil cat would adopt a crouched stance, ready to pounce, its tail curved like a sinister question mark. Both forms emerged from the clay with a surprising liveliness, even before any features were added. Once the shapes were ready, I turned to the details that would set them apart. For the angel cat, I carefully shaped tiny wings, feather by feather, ensuring the edges were soft and gentle. These wings were attached to its back in a way that seemed natural, as if they were truly part of the creature. For the devil cat, I crafted small, curved horns from a separate piece of clay, blending them into the skull so they looked like they had grown there over centuries. Its tail ended with a sharp, spade-like tip, hinting at mischief. After sculpting came the texturing stage. I wanted their fur to feel real to the eye, so I used a fine needle tool to etch delicate lines across their bodies. The angel cat's fur pattern was light and flowing, like ripples on calm water, while the devil cat's was slightly rougher, giving the impression of restless energy. Every stroke had a purpose, each adding a layer of personality. The next phase was baking the clay. I placed both figurines onto a ceramic tile, slid them into my preheated oven, and watched through the glass door as the heat transformed them from soft creations into solid art pieces. The scent of warm clay filled the air, reminding me of pottery studios and the satisfaction of seeing raw material become something lasting. When they cooled, I ran my fingertips over them, testing for smoothness. They felt sturdy and ready for color. Painting was the moment they truly came alive. I began with the angel cat, applying a base coat of pearly white acrylic paint mixed with a touch of iridescent medium. This gave it a subtle rainbow sheen when the light hit it at certain angles. I painted its wings with layers of soft gold and pearl, blending them to create the illusion of light passing through delicate feathers. Tiny strokes of shimmering silver outlined its eyes, which I painted a serene sky blue. It looked pure, peaceful, and radiant. The devil cat required a bolder palette. I coated its body in a glossy black paint with a hint of deep crimson mixed in, so it gleamed like molten lava in dim light. Its horns were painted in a metallic bronze, catching glints of gold when tilted. For its eyes, I chose a fiery amber, ringed with a thin line of red to make them appear to glow from within. The tail's tip received a subtle gradient from black to a blood-red hue, as though it had been dipped in fire. Once the paint dried, I moved on to the final step, making them shine. I applied multiple layers of high-gloss resin, carefully brushing it over every surface to seal in the paint and create a glass-like finish. The resin deepened the colors, made them richer, and added a mirror-like reflection that caught the sun from my window. The angel cat's coat now sparkled as if dusted with stardust, while the devil cat's black-red surface gleamed like polished obsidian. Setting them side by side on the table was a magical moment. They contrasted perfectly, one a vision of heavenly grace, the other an embodiment of alluring darkness. Yet, despite their opposing designs, they seemed to belong together, like two halves of the same soul. Their shiny surfaces reflected each other, merging light and shadow in the same space. I placed them on a small display stand I had also made by hand. The base was a smooth black lacquered wood, with a subtle line of silver dividing it into two halves. On the angel cat's side, I scattered a few tiny crystal beads, catching the light like drops of dew. On the devil cat's side, I embedded miniature red gemstones, each one glowing like a coal from a fading fire. This display didn't just hold them, it told their story. Creating them had been more than just a craft project, it felt like a meditation on balance. As I polished their surfaces for the final time, I realized that the angel cat and devil cat were not meant to fight each other. Instead, they represented the two forces we all carry inside: kindness and mischief, calm and chaos, purity and passion. Each made the other more beautiful. When visitors later saw them in my home, they often reached out to touch them, only to pull back at the unexpected smoothness and glassy feel. "They look like they're made of precious stone," one friend remarked. Another said, "It's like they could come to life any moment." These comments made me smile, because that was exactly what I had hoped to achieve, to make something that didn't just look handmade, but looked alive. Now, whenever sunlight passes through my workshop window in the late afternoon, it lands perfectly on the two cats. The angel cat glows in soft gold and pearl, while the devil cat glistens with dark fire. Together, they catch the light in such a way that sometimes it's hard to tell where the brightness ends and the shadow begins. And maybe that's the beauty of them and of the world. Light without darkness is blinding, and darkness without light is empty. But when they exist side by side, each polished and perfect in its own way, they create something truly mesmerizing. These two shiny, stunning cats are more than figurines. They are a reminder that even the most opposite forces can share the same stage, and in doing so, make each other unforgettable.